once again, my name is Dr. Ikechukwu Anthony. For those of us who were not here the last time we had class, we'll do a kind of recap of what we did the other class. And that will be we are discussing internet technology. And under internet technology, we handled internet. And we discussed what the internet is all about. We also discussed the benefits of internet, the uses of internet in the workplace, in institutions like this, and other organizations. We also looked at the meaning of WW, which is World Wide Web. We also discussed the difference between the World Wide Web and Internet. We went further to discuss the difference between Internet, Intranet, and Extranet. Today, before I move to the next discussion, which is going to be on Intranet, I would like us to quickly talk about if any of you, let's see if we are following, if any of you can tell us what we discussed concerning internet. Well, without wasting time, we said that internet is a global connection of computer networks. It's a global connection of what? Computer networks. So we also talk about the uses of internet, where we discussed that internet are used in the offices, could be used in offices, at home. They are used for communications, and is a major source of information. People these days hardly go to the physical library. They go to the internet to source information. So the biggest information source is, of course, the internet. Internet are used in various places like companies, banks, oil servicing companies, oil companies, institutions of learning. You use internet. So, and we said internet that is made up of two components. We said it's made up of the protocol and the hardware aspect of it. And of course, we said the communications cannot exist between hardware, computers, and the other devices without the protocol. We discussed what protocol is, and we talk about the IP, which is internet protocols. We also discussed the hardware that will be used in the internet. We talk about the computers, we talk about the small smartphones, we talk about the satellites. These are things that are used, the hardware. We talk about the 4G and the rest of them. I'm sure we still remember them. Do we still remember them? Yes. All right, cool. Now, could someone ask a question based on what we have done before? Okay, fine. She's asking to know the difference between internet and WW, which is World Wide Web. Of course, internet is a global connection of networks, while World Wide Web is a collection of what? Information that can be accessed on the network. Do we understand it? The network is more or less like the infrastructure, which is the internet, is more or less like the infrastructure, while the information on the infrastructure is sitting on top of the infrastructure is the what? Is the web. Is the what? Is the web. The World Wide Web. Do you understand it? All right. So today we shall be discussing about intranet. We shall be discussing about intranet. We say that we already know what internet is. Now there's a subset of internet. And we say that this subset of internet is what? Intranet. The other one is inter, the other is intra. The intra is a private kind of internet. It's a private collection of computers and computer devices. It's usually owned by companies, institutions like the school, like banks. What they do here is they tend to customize the internet. They try to have a way of making it look how they want it to look like. Not because internet is a public, is a public facility, while intranet is a private facility. So in intranet, they design the internet such that it suits the company, what the company stands for, what their cultures are. That is how they design the intranet. So you can see that in Shell company, for instance, their intranet may be different from bank intranet, and it could be different from school intranet. This is simply because intranet is customized, it's private, it's not public. It is designed to suit the objectives of the organization and the experiences and, of course, the culture. Now, we talk about the features and functions of intranet. What are the features? What are those functions? Those are the features of intranet. What we said, communication. There won't be intranet if there is no communication. Because the basic of intranet is to be able to communicate to one another. A staff here should be able to communicate to another staff in another location within the same organization. So it is for communication, it is for collaboration. Can we say collaboration? Collaboration. Yes, collaboration simply means that you are doing some work and you need the input of the other person. So you can collaborate with the person to achieve a task. To achieve what? A task. Now we'll talk about information, sharing of information on the what? On the intranet. Then we'll also talk about business processes. Business processes, of course, are done on intranet. If you go to bank, for instance, I work also in the bank, and you see that the way our intranet is designed, the design is such that it is friendly, it is such that you could access information easily, it could design it such that you could collaborate with your colleague in other places to achieve a business proposal or a business process. So that is how it is done. And every individual, every employee is given a user profile that you cannot have access to the company's intranet without them giving you user profile or user credentials. So that is about intranet. Now there's a little variant of intranet that is called the what? The extranet. Say extranet. Extranet. Yes, extranet. Though it is a private, network owned by the organization, customized to suit the kind of work they do, they also allow part of this, part of their processes or part of their forms to be accessed by another person that is not an employee. For instance, they could have vendors, somebody who supplies diesel to the school. We'll have, there's a portal, for instance, in the intranet where he could, give his deliverables, he could give his reports. So they just allow that aspect of their portal, of the intranet, to be accessed by another person who is not an employee or an employee of the organization. So that is called extranet, giving controlled access to an authorized person into an intranet. That is what extranet. So we shall be discussing more of this in our next class. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.